Hello there. Today we're doing a polynomial inequality problem. We have this polynomial equation, x cubed minus 4x squared minus 21x. We want to figure out for what intervals, so what values of x is this graph below the x-axis, or when is the y value less than 0. So the first thing I need to do is figure out what the zeros, or figure out what the roots or solutions of this equation are. So that's what we're going to do first. I notice that each of these have an x in common. They're all multiplied by an x. So I'm going to common factor out that x first. X squared minus 4x minus 21 is the resulting quadratic in this case. So I hope this is a factorable quadratic, and it looks like it is. So this one is actually factorable to x minus 7 and x plus 3. 7 and 3 are numbers that multiply to give us negative 21, and at the same time add to give negative 4. So with this now in factored form, I can quickly figure out what my zeros are. So the x on the outside gets me a 0 of 0. The x minus 7 gets me a 0 of positive 7. And the x plus 3 gives me a 0 of negative 3. So now that I know where my graph crosses the x-axis, I can use my knowledge of graphs to see when are the y values less than 0. So let me quickly draw in some axes. So here's your y axis and here's your x-axis. My graph crosses at 0, so it's a crossing at 0, at positive 7 over here, and at negative 3 over here. Because this is a positive cubic, the graph will start in the third quadrant, cross through negative 3, cross through 0 going down, and then we'll once again turn around and cross through positive 7 and go on up to positive infinity. Okay, so your local maximum and minimums are nice, but they're not necessarily important for this type of a problem. So looking at this graph, I can quickly tell when is the y value below 0. So there the y value is below 0. So here's my interval for x. Everywhere from negative infinity to negative 3. Everywhere to the left of negative 3, the y values are negative. Okay, and then again in between here, in between 0 and 7, the y values are also negative. So I have two separate intervals on my graph where the y values of this equation are going to be less than 0. Okay, graphically speaking, that means when is the graph below the x-axis. And we write it as an interval from negative infinity to negative 3, and then again from 0 to 7, or where the graph is below the x-axis. Thanks for watching.